You want to lead us in the pledge? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll be
30 seconds. Oh, 7 o'clock. Okay, the hour being 7 o'clock, I'll call this meeting to order. If Councilman Zimmerman could lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Mayor,
Councilman Shuttrin.
I make a motion, we approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Shuttrin, seconded by Councilwoman Bushman, correct? Is there any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. First item on the agenda is citizen requests and other communications. Chief?
Mayor and council, thank you for some time tonight. You know, you always know when certain days are coming, sooner or later, and look forward to them with mixed emotions. And that's kind of where we're at today. We have Denise Ariano here. I'm sure everybody on council knows Denise. Nearly everybody in town knows Denise. She's served the city since 1983 when she started in the finance department, and then moved very shortly afterwards to the police department, where she's taking care of her boys and girls, as she calls them, for many years. She's normally the first face we met when we came to work at the police department, as we sat down nervously waiting for an interview, and she helped calm us and at the same time inspected us. To make sure she could pass on notes to the chief later on. She's been a counselor to, like I said, pretty much every line officer and every chief along the way, both professionally, personally at times. She's done everything from make sure that all of our reporting to the state is have all of its I's dotted and T's crossed, to watching the children from officers from time to time if they had to rush in for a last minute court appearance. I can't begin to say how much she's done for our community, our department, and for me personally. So the time has come that she's decided to move on and focus a little bit more on family. And so we want to recognize her for her 38 years of service today. So thank you. I have a plaque. We'll just present it here in front of council. Just a little, please. Here, right there. Perfect. Make sure you smile. Got it. Thanks.
Yeah, wait, let's. Okay, we're going to take a brief break here, about 30 seconds, in case you guys want to make a break for it. You're welcome to. Congratulations, Denise.
Congratulations.
All those familiar faces that I love up here.
Okay, recess is over. Council action items. Item A, consideration to approve the 2021 subcontract award from the Department of Criminal Investigation. Chief, and you can say that HIDA or whatever the heck it is.
HIDA is the pronunciation for that particular federal bunch of letters.
Okay.
So before we have the agreement for the HIDA grant for this next year, this is a grant that's awarded to Division of Criminal Investigation, and then they sub-award it out to different agencies across the state to provide task force officers for our local drug task forces. So this has funded a position for the police department for about the last 20 years, a little bit more than that. It's currently the gentleman we have in that position is pretty darn experienced investigator. He's been doing this kind of work for a lot of years, and that's why the award's for the amount that it is. We have very little cost with this other than our own administration, and then a few of the, some of the benefits that go a little bit high because of overtime that might go a little bit higher here or there. Isn't necessarily 100% reimbursed, but we're very close to that.
Okay, thank you, Chief. I think this is self-explanatory. Anybody have any questions for the chief? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor,
Councilman Zimmerman.
I move to approve the 2021 HITA subcontract award of $100,610, authorize the mayor and Chief Jarvie to sign the agreement pending legal approval.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Zimmerman, seconded by Councilman Burke. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Item B, consideration to award the bid for the YDOT TAP grant ADA Improvements Phase 2 project.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Mark Westensco, Public Works Director. So last year we had applied for a grant for the Transportation Alternatives Program through YDOT. That is an 80-20 program, wherein the state pays 80% of improvements to the transportation system that are not vehicular. So in this particular case, we proposed to do some Americans with Disability Act ramp compliance on a portion of East Teton near Alabama Street and where the Greenbelt crosses that. We replaced the ramps in that area, and that was ranked highly enough by the YDOT scoring team that we were able to get that grant. And we've designed that and put that out to bid. We received one bid from DeBernardi Construction for that work, and we're here to present that one for award tonight.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Does anybody have any questions of Mark? Okay, let's have a motion.
Mayor,
Councilman Chetron.
I move to award the CD 20304 ADA Improvements Phase 2 project to DeBernardi Construction Company Incorporated in the amount of $167,000 or $167,455 for the base bid, and authorize the mayor to sign the contract.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Chetron, seconded by Councilwoman Bushman. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. It's unanimous. Item C. Mark?
So along with that construction project, as you will remember, we often have a materials testing component with it, with an engineering firm who performs material testing services. Because this is paid for using YDOT funds, we use their process for selection, and they kind of guided us through that process to select a consultant, to a service provider who's on their pre-approved list. JFC was the selected provider through that process, and We have negotiated a scope of work and contract with JFC to provide the materials testing for that project.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Does anybody have any questions of Mark? Okay, let's have a motion then.
Mayor,
Councilman Kilpack.
I move to award the professional service contract to JFC Engineers for construction materials testing service for CD 2034 East Teton ADA Improvement Project Phase 2 in the amount of $6,848.60 and authorize the mayor to sign the contract.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Kilpack, seconded by Councilman Shetron. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Consideration to approve a site lease agreement with Wyoming.com.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Last fall, we talked to you a little bit about Wyoming.com wanting to place a new tower on Man's Face to bring in and be able to bring in a wireless broadband services to our residents. I'm sorry, I took a quick picture before I come to the meeting. The picture I had before I have inadvertently misplaced. But they're looking to put a small 40-foot round tower. And as you can see from the picture up there, I bet you guys can't even see the tower that's there. I don't know if Tara can zoom in on that a bit, if she could for a minute. But they're looking at putting a small 40-foot round tower in a 10 by 10 shed or bunker, the small bunker on site to just offer those services. And it's going to be on the front of the peak. Well, I say front of the peak, it's only going to be about 20 feet, 25 feet towards the peak from the current large cell tower. Though the reality is you probably won't be able to see it. That's okay, Tara.
Yeah.
I can get some more pictures if you guys have further questions, but it's just a small little 40-foot tower, similar to like the city's small 40-foot tower that we have up there. It's a standard lease amount, $10 per square foot per year. That's what we're charging all the providers up there. They're anticipated on using a 10 by 10 spot up there as well. This will still have to go to planning and zoning and do all that. They just prefer to get the site lease done ahead of time so they can ensure they have the property before they start designing and doing all the other stuff in there. And there is a provision that if they cannot procure those things, that we can terminate the lease for them.
Thanks, Chris. Anybody have any questions of Chris? Go ahead, Sherry.
I was just wondering, will that be in place where the Christmas tree is every year? Is it near that? I just had to ask.
So, no.
Okay, I'm fine.
The Christmas tree comes further down considerably further down off the point.
Oh, okay. You said at the top, so I was just making sure.
This tower is going to sit roughly right here. The Christmas tree is down here.
Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
If they're going to attempt to put a tower on where they put the Christmas tree, they've got a lot more skill than anybody I know. So
We do have our priorities. Very good question, Sherry.
it might be a shorter run if the people who put the tree up there decide to borrow some electricity from them. Might take a couple in the 100 feet or so off their extension cord.
Okay, anybody have any questions of Chris? Okay, we'll entertain a motion then.
Mayor,
Councilman Byrd.
I move to approve the lease agreement with Wyoming.com for a site lease on Man's Face in the amount of $1,000 annually within the city of Green River and authorize the mayor to sign the agreement.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Berg, seconded by Councilman Zimmerman. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item E, consideration to approve an alteration renovation of the building located at 24 East Flaming Gorge Way.
Mayor, Council, Mark Weston, Public Works Director, representing Development Services tonight. So this is an item that's been on the agenda for previously and had some discussion about the use of the property. We did receive here in the last week or so a new updated floor plan for the property in question. And the new floor plan indicates use as a bar and does not include any kind of indications of any other use that might have been of concern in the past. So with that, the department will process it as directed. We have learned that the state of Wyoming does have some interest in certain elements of the improvements, and will be coordinating with the applicant on those particular elements. And that's why you'll see the verbiage in the suggested motion related to the state.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Is there any questions? Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor,
Councilman Chutrin.
I move to approve the revised alteration for Buddy Inc., doing business as Mast Lounge, located at 24 East Flaming Gorge Way, to allow the renovation of the property in accordance with the 2018 International Building Codes as adopted by the City of Green River, and in accordance with the building construction permit issued by the city for such purposes, and subject to the state jurisdictional requirements for commercial buildings.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Chutrin, seconded by Councilman Berg. Are there any discussion? Councilman Kilpack.
I just have one question on the motion. And it says, construction permit issued by the city for such purpose. What is such purpose? Does that need to be added in there? We know it's for a bar. Do we need to say permitted issue by the city for such purpose as a bar and subject to the state jurisdiction requirement for the commercial building? Is that necessary?
We're approving the revised alteration, so.
Does it say on the application what it's for?
The floor plan does delineate.
The
it does say
alteration
mat-
states
mat
it.
bar.
Okay.
So we don't need it in the motion to make it clear?
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Mayor,
Councilman Zimmerman.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. City Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. First, congratulations to Denise too. I remember even back when I was in high school and stuff, coming and seeing her when my mom was working here. So she was watching out for everybody back then even. So 30 years, a long time. I will be out for the rest of this week, starting tomorrow afternoon. Chris will be acting tomorrow afternoon and Friday, and Chief Jarvie will be acting on Thursday. Of course, I'll be available as needed. We also, just as a reminder for the Finance Committee meeting, that will be next Wednesday, the 24th, 2 p.m. So we did have our department head meetings today with some of the budgets. It's very lean in terms of what people have asked for, and they know, what we're kind of going through. We're going to continue to run through some of those numbers. We'll have it ready for that. Following that meeting, we'll have something that'll go out to council-wide on that. The other piece, I did talk with Bailey Doctor today regarding some of the ambulance. We did send some communications to the county commissioners this morning prior to their meeting, letting them know that we've had some meetings specifically with the ambulance service here, and also discussing some of the areas of concern and where we may or may not, can help out. I think there's still a little bit more digging we need to do. They were looking for something before the end of the month. I told them we'd probably have it here within a couple of days, but we weren't going to be have it ready before their meeting. I know the Rock Springs Council is also discussing that tonight. I have been in contact with Mayor Como. Mayor Rustin has also just trying to see how they're looking at it and making sure that we continue to focus it. And we know that the need for the services, there's no doubt, but we're also looking at from a bigger picture item and how we can manage this. So, and that's all I have.
Thanks, Reed. Mr. City Attorney.
I have no report tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Galen. Let's start at that end. Let's go. Councilman Kilpack.
All I have is one thing, and it may have been there for a long time, but I just noticed that the deer signs throughout town, I think that's pretty cool. They have the flashing lights on it. And so I slow down for the deer.
That was we had talked about, we worked with the Muley Fanatics. They were able to get that donation. They were putting those signs together for the state. They didn't meet the size criteria. They wanted to make sure they went to use. We have them on Uinta, and we also have them on Assel. Right. So yeah, they definitely stand out. It was funny because the night before when I drove by, I about hit one. So it's like, oh, but yeah, good placement. So yeah, that was a great donation from them, and we made sure to take some.
Tell them thank you, because that was really good. I really like that. And that's all I have.
Thanks, Gary. Councilman Yost. Thank you, George. Councilwoman Bushman.
So I just have two. First is if everyone remember, we are now a Purple Heart Trail city. And thanks to Reed, reminding me that I was able to obtain 3 Wounded Warrior. So anyone that was a purple recipient parking sign. So actually one of the veterans went around town last week. One's going to be going at Ace Hardware, one at the Chamber, and Love's is a possibility. So they're really excited. And in fact, Ace actually is inquiring about getting more. So that's a win. And then the second thing is that if anyone knows, I'm going to be donating. There's a food drive this Saturday at 9 in the morning till noon. There's a shortage for the food bank. So there's 2 drop-offs at Smith's and at the food bank. And again, it's from 9 till noon on Saturday. That's all I have. Smith's parking lot and the food bank itself. Yeah, just Green River. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Smith's and I'm sorry.
That's okay. The food bank.
The food. Okay. Councilman Chudry.
I'd just like to echo what Reed said and congratulate Denise on her retirement. That's a lot of years. It's a lot of tribal knowledge walking out the door. So congratulations to her. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Chudry. Councilman Berg.
I just want to console Chief Jarvie that his job just got a whole lot tougher and wish Denise the very best in her retirement. That's all I have, Mayor.
Very good, Robert. Councilman Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mayor. We at the Green River Airport Board, we've been in the preliminary stages of planning spaceport days. So we're looking forward to that. And we've been watching, Mark's been lead point there, and he's been watching legislation and with the help of Ryan and stuff too. I'm sure everybody's watching legislation right now because we're in that phase. And what I'm excited about is Mark shared a great idea of casting some of these challenge coins for the airport. So we're looking at maybe one side being advertising the city and having the city logo on and the colors. And then on the other side, a nice little spaceship with the 48U designation. Thought it'd be a really cool item. I'm really excited about that. So we're looking at that. And as far as shoveling, I think I did. Obviously, I was away for the weekend. And when I got back, I thought I'd have to shovel 4 inches of snow. And I didn't have to shovel any snow, but a herd of our muley deer walked through my yard. And I did have to shovel my driveway. So obviously there's a trail right through my yard and across my driveway. So that's, I like the signs. So that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. Thank you, Councilman Zimmerman. You know, that storm, that was wet snow. That was really heavy and it just disappeared just like that, you know, but,
Here, not so much in Jasper and Cheyenne.
yeah, right. That's true. They're not moving still, hardly. But you know, it changed. It's going to really make a big difference on our snow load. So I got a message here that the low-cost pet vaccination clinic at the animal control this weekend, right? So if you have an animal and it needs to be vaccinated, there's a lower cost. Go to the animal control this weekend and give them a call if you need to know the time, because I don't have it here. What time? 9 to 2 on Saturday, says the lady that knows, has all the information. Thank you. And then I just want to also echo everybody, Denise, 38 years, that's incredible for one employee. And she's just always smiles, always makes you feel good when you see her. I mean, it's just a real positive person, and I'm sure she'll really be missed. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mayor,
Councilman Shuttrin.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, moved by Councilman Shuttrin, seconded by Councilman Berg. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Stay. I mean, it's done. It's unanimous. Thank you, Council.
Not even close.
Hello.